Okay, today we're going to tie for you a Yellow Sally. I have a device. My hook is a 3399 Mustad, size 6, which is generally what you use for show flies, or you can use a 3906 or 3906B. I started my thread one hook eye behind the width behind the hook eye, and I'm going to wind my underbody, which is a white 6/0 thread, smoothly down the hook shank. It's important that you keep it side-by-side wraps so that your floss goes on nice and smooth with no lumps or bumps. So here we go, right down the hook shank, all the way down. We're going to tie for you today is a Yellow Sally, one of Bergmann's beautiful flies. Once you get your underbody, the white thread down to the bend here, you want to stop it right in between the hook point and the barb. At that point you want to cut off your tag. Now we're ready to put in install the gold tag. 1 or 2 more wraps just to tie in what you have left over. That's looking good. Okay, now we come back with our tag, which is extra small UTC mylar. It's gold on one side, silver on the other. When you slide it in behind the thread like this, you want to make sure that the gold is facing you. That way when you go to wrap it around, the gold is facing outwards. Pull this right down until it just about slips out. Pull it tight, give it one good wrap, and then kind of wrap down the hook shank just to get the bobbin out of your way. When you do your tag, it's usually 5 wraps for Bergmann style fly. So you have 5 side-by-side wraps right down the hook shank. 3, 4, 5, and then you come back up 5 side-by-side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have your tag in there. Bring your thread back down. And one nice tight wrap over the top, fills the void, and you have your tag set. And then with your scissors, trim it off nice and close. And you're ready to rock and roll. Now we're ready to set the tail. I've already cut my slips. They're prepared yellow duck quill. Tails are generally 3 to 5 fibers, depending on how you like your fly to look. There you have it. Your tail wants to be just about the length of the hook, just about to the bend. Will be nice. Take that and hold it right over the top. Line your wraps are the name of the game in these flies. You don't want to get too many because then it gets too bulky. So there you have your tail set. Just 1 or 2 wraps to hold it on there. Now the body consists of yellow Uni-Floss. We'll put that on first. I usually use 1 strand. That's all you need, just to get color on the body. Again, put it in the same way you installed it and put the mylar in. Pull it right up on top. Keep all your materials right about where you began your thread. Next, you want to come in with your mylar, which is your ribbing. We want to put it back in the same way that we did it the first time, behind the thread. With the gold facing you. Pull it up. Just to the side will be good this time, because that's going to be wrapped around there after we're done forming our body with the floss. Now we continue our wraps smoothly and evenly back down the body, keeping all the materials pretty much in place so you don't get any lumps or bumps. Put that material back there. then just side-by-side wraps right back to where we started from. Almost there. This will give you a nice smooth underbody, and it secures all the materials that you've put on the hook. Holds it firmly in place. Okay, now we're ready to wrap the floss. You bring that down towards you. Just make sure it's all nice and smooth and everything, all the fibers are aligned, and we start to wrap. Hand over hand. So that goes on nice and smooth there. I'm going to just do this right on up to the front of the hook again. Gives you a nice smooth underbody. And when you do those nice side-by-side wraps all the way up and down the hook when you're putting your fly together, that's what gives you that smooth working surface to finish your fly. Get a couple more wraps. It always helps too to keep in mind that when you go to work with floss, be sure to wash your hands. I usually like to wash them in a warm water, warm soapy water, and then come right back to the fly when I'm done washing my hands. That way it keeps your fingers nice and clean and free of oil so that your floss goes on nice and shiny. So we'll tie that off there. We'll come back in and we'll clip that out nice and tight. There we go. So now you have your body. Now we're ready to wrap the ribs. It gets 5 ribs. Bergman patterns, that's usually that's the standard is 5 ribs. You get one more in there, it's okay. 3, 4. Yeah, try and get them spaced somewhat even. This is just to give you an idea. So now we have our 5 ribs on there. We've tied in the mylar, we secured our floss. And now you have your body created. So you have your tail, your tag, your tail, and your body. Nice and smooth. Come in and clip this off. Take your whip finisher. Put a couple of whips on there just to tie everything in, and you can basically get a good idea of where your head is going to begin and end at, and they keep your wraps nice and vertical on the hook. Tie that off. Come in and clip this off, and come back with black because that's what your head is going to be. Okay. For my black, I'm using Uni A-Dot. That way you can use a little bit of thread without building up too big of a head. So there we have our head. Basically where it's going to be. Now we're ready to set our throat. Going to use some yellow shellapping for that. Just going to pick off a nice bunch of these and get them ready to tie in for the throat. Nice little pinch. You don't want it too full. Just nice, so that when you tie it in and it spreads out, it looks good. That's about what we're looking for. So now what I like to do is I like to turn my fly upside down. If you have a rotary vise, if you don't, you can tie it in from underneath. I cut this to length. Make sure that I got it about where I want it before I'm ready to put it in. Cut it off and apply it in. Now the trick to this is if you hold it closest to you, you take one loose wrap up over the top of it and you give it a tug. Look where it goes. It lands right in the throat of that hook. Every time. And they have a nice little throat. And you're ready to set your wing. I already have my quills cut, matched up and ready to go. So we're just ready to set the wing. They should be just about, not quite filling the hook gap. Give you the proper. When you set your wings want to be, on most of the Bergmann flies, the wings are, go from the front of the hook to just the bend, should line right up with the bend of the hook, the farthest point. So you take your feathers and you hold them firmly in hand. Now that you've marked your spot, you take one loose wrap over, kind of take a peek in there and make sure that everything's laying down, and you just kind of let it rock on down there. Take one more wrap, let it rock down, give it a good straight down, good tug. And your wings should, and a couple of wraps to hold it in, your wings should be setting right on the top. Don't be afraid to adjust them a little bit. Okay. Take that back and redo it. Make sure you build yourself a nice little platform. One loose wrap. That wing to sit down on top. Straight down tug. There you have your wing set. Tail's a little shorter on this, but this will give you an idea. Come back in. Clip off those waist tips. And now it's time to form the head. And I like to start at the front. Work my way back up. That way it gives you a nice little bird head. Kind of trap all those fibers in there too and hold them nice for you. And you just kind of, as many wraps as it takes to cover up those loose fibers and give you a nice shaped, smooth head. And you come back in with your head cement. It's going to look pretty for you. There you have it. Nice little wet fly. And that is the Yellow Sally. Put a couple of whip finishes on it. And you're done.